Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's me, ChipZ, and sorry for the wait on this stream. We are doing a ChipZ Ahoy reaction to One Piece Chapter 1078, Escape Limit. And yeah, so I was away last week at South by Southwest, basically all week, so, I couldn't really, react to the chapter live, but I'm actually going to be basically, busy with like classes and stuff all throughout this week, especially in the evenings. So I'm definitely not going to be able to stream if there's a chapter this Friday or whatever. I might be able to stream on the weekends, or maybe next Sunday or something. But this week I'm basically just going to be completely occupied. So I wanted to get a quick stream in. I was trying to get to this earlier, but it's been a busy day. I just got back from Austin on yesterday evening. So, been a busy day, just kind of trying to catch up on some stuff that I missed when I was out of town. And, but yeah, so regarding chapter 1078, so let's think back to chapter 1077, so long ago. When was that again? That was last week. Yeah, I guess we didn't have a break. Yeah, so it was last week. So yeah, chapter 1077, it seems like, if I recall correctly, that was not the Kid and Shanks chapter. That was the chapter after that, where we're still playing Among Us with the cast of the Egghead Island arc. So essentially, someone's a traitor. Shaka, if I remember correctly, Shaka got fucking capped, got fucking brained with a bullet by someone. And we're led to believe that one of the Vegapunks is behind this treachery. I will say this much. Spoilers were fucking rampant on Twitter. I have not, how do I put it? Like, I have seen a couple panels from this chapter, and I'm pretty sure, based on the panels that I've seen, I scrolled by immediately, as soon as I saw them, but based on the panels that I've seen, like, just floating around on Twitter and on Discord and stuff, I try to avoid things, when I don't have time to react, but it was just, shit was all over the place. Like, people did not give a fuck. Spoiler tagging their shit or whatever. I'm pretty sure I know who the traitor is, and I'm pretty sure we find out in this chapter, but who knows? We will find out. But if it's not who I think it is, I'm not going to say their name now, but I will say this. It's someone that I actually suspected. And, obviously we'll get to the panel, and if, the chapter, if the spoilers that I saw were accurate, and like I said, I didn't read any spoilers. I just saw some panels from the chapter, and it seemed to make it pretty clear who the traitor actually is. So obviously we'll find out in just a moment here. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the chapter, shall we? Again, this is a late stream. Like I said, I wanted to get to this a little bit earlier, so I didn't, go posting this everywhere like I normally do. We're just gonna keep it low key. Whoever shows up, shows up. It might be just you and me. Fair audience member who is staying quiet here, but that's okay. Video capture device. Let's go ahead and that's me. That's not the right one. It is this one. Okay, there we go. All right. So chapter 1078, Escape Limit. Are we finally at the end of the Germa cover story? Wouldn't that be nice? No, I mean, I've actually been quite enjoying. This has been a pretty interesting cover story so far. I've been enjoying it, and it looks like Judge and Caesar have joined hands in an alliance to defeat and surpass their old rival, Dr. Vegapunk, who they still hate to this very day. And you know what? That's pretty base. That's a cool alliance. I like that more than if this is the final chapter of the Cold-Blooded Voyage of the Germa. This is a pretty neat development, seeing these two join forces. It was probably inevitable, but I like to see it. These guys are both kind of like fucked up, Mangala figures of their own, and I like to see them joining hands and preparing to, conquer the world with science. One nuclear bomb at a time. These guys are going to split the fuck out of that atom, and it's going to be great. All right, so Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 33, and so Neo-Mads was formed. Neo-Mads, interesting. That's what they're calling it. Very cool. Funded by Germa. Fuck yeah. Alright, so Lab Interior, Egghead, the island of the future. So last time we had fucking Lucci and Kaku And well, everyone was just fighting everybody. It was just it turned into a big like fucking Among Us battle royale. Sanji was fighting New Jinbei, NU Jinbei. Who else was fighting? Frankie was fighting. He got turned to stone by being attracted to a child, just like Usopp, and just like fucking York. And Lilith, I think, also got turned to stone. Frankie was the only one who was still like partially conscious because he could control his boner because he's a robot, I suppose. So good for him. So lab interior, Egghead, the island of the future. So Uncle Kizaru's coming here, says fucking this guy, whose name I totally remember. And I always forget. Actually, I don't always forget. I always remember he is Kizaru's nephew. So does that mean Kizaru will take it easy on him? Does that mean maybe, I don't know, he'll be able to have, slow him down? I don't know. Maybe something will happen with that. It's interesting that he's Kizaru's nephew. That's so fucking random. There's such like a fucking random familial relation among the Marines, I don't know. You don't typically see that from, he's such a random character to be related to such an important character in the setting. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. All right, so Jinbei and Stussy are still together because Sanji went to rescue Nami and beat up baby Jinbei. Awesome. So who's on the other end of the line? Second floor, building B. Okay, so it looks like Sentomaru is talking to Stussy. That's right. CP0 was meant to wait for his arrival after eliminating the Doctor. Okay, interesting. CP0 was meant to wait for his arrival. Okay, so CP0 was like the advanced squad, but now, new problem is Kizaru. He's the big bad boy that everyone's afraid of right now. The government's pulling out all the stops, huh? Indeed, I think they consider this incident to be far more severe than Ohara. Fuck. The fact that they keep bringing up Ohara makes me think like shit is gonna get really bad, and I hope it does. I'm expecting at this point the way they keep invoking Ohara, I'm expecting Egghead to be like fucking blown off the map. Maybe by that fucking flying weapon that what's his name uses, that Eam can call in to destroy an island like he did for God Valley. I'm expecting something like that. Like it seems like this is something that the government is taking extremely seriously, and the fact that they keep comparing it to Ohara is notable and foreboding. Very good, though. For one, the Doctor not only continued the Scholar's forbidden research, he's taken it much further. Interesting that Stussy knows so much. Second, unlike Ohara, Egghead actually has formidable combative and defensive capabilities. Yeah, that's true. When you put it like that, it's no surprise they're coming loaded for bear? What the fuck? Loaded for bear. That seems like a translation problem. Oh, I didn't realize Jinbei was flying. That's funny. I mean, they're both just farting. They're both like flying with their farts, hence the, gaseous trail they're leaving in their midst. Awesome. And based. Call me if there's any developments. All the other transponders on the Lavostratum are down. Okay. Factory A. Fabrio Stratum. Okay, so this is where this guy is, in person. Kerchak, you heard the lady. The Navy's gonna try and repeat history here, so learn from it. You can't afford to hesitate, so he's telling them to get the fuck out. Prepare the ships, we need to get off the island. Quickly, before the Marines show. I mean, if fucking Kizaru's on his way, it's hard to say what Kizaru might do in a situation like this, but we know what Akainu would do with civilian ships escaping the scene of the crime. These guys aren't going to survive if he's there, but who knows? Who knows how Kizaru will handle this situation? He might be less by the books than someone like Akainu. Or at very least, less overzealous, But it's hard to say. Kizaru doesn't seem like necessarily a true believer. He just this is his job, and he performs it well enough, but it's just hard to say what he's actually going to do in a situation like this. So we'll just have to wait and see. All right, prepare the ships. We need to get off the island. Quickly, before the Marines show, listen to Sentomaru. So these guys are all fucking up in a tizzy. They're trying to get the fuck out for good and obvious reasons. Third floor, lab, building C. Usopp, Lilith. Okay, so this is Frankie. He's still fighting with fucking baby girl. Baby girl, yes. That's her name. Okay, so he's half stone because he was turned on by a child. You fucking freaks. All these guys are fucking, gross freaks. So, but I mean, in reality, we know like even if you find them like cute or endearing, then the power also works. So whether these guys are, pedos or not is up for debate. But I'm not going to automatically ban them with the guilty hammer here. So. You damn brat. So Frankie's still raring to fight. Good. Even if my right side's frozen solid, my left can still pack a punch. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. If you repent, I'll let you off easy. So, obviously, she doesn't give a fuck, because Frankie's basically a non-entity at this point. So, Clatter. Bunch of shit falls, and it's this guy. Pythagoras? No. This is, Edison. Is this Edison or Pythagoras? I think this is Pythagoras. Ack. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck, he's gonna get stepped on? Oh, man. Yeah, well, fuck. It's over, bros. He's also gonna get turned on. That's his foot fetish coming into play right there. So she knows how to turn all of these guys to stone. No one is safe from the cunny here, okay? Why, Snake? Who ordered you to do this? About to step on his ass, crush. Pythagoras. So, is Pythagoras dead? Damn. Kaboom! Fucking explosion. Thunk, thunk. So something just exploded, but it wasn't from this direction. Wait, I said wait. So who was that? Wait, what? So something exploded, but it wasn't. Was it Pythagoras? I thought Pythagoras just got crushed. I don't think he got exploded. But maybe he did, I don't know. I feel like this explosion is from a different entity. Like, that's what I feel like we're supposed to take from that. It feels foreboding. It feels like Frankie's seen something. He's like, wait. I said wait, so... Or maybe someone is telling Snake to wait. I don't know. That's confusing. Second floor, building A. All those screams and explosions. I hope everyone's alright. So we got fucking Chopper, and we're on F2. Building A, F2. Okay. All those screams and explosions. Okay, so we got Choppermon. We got fucking Robin, looking great. And we got Goat Girl. What was her name? Atlas. Atlas, yes. All those screams and explosions. I hope everyone's alright. I tried checking, and it seems the Seraphim are running amok. Wait, Robin tried checking? Oh, I guess she can just appear anywhere with her fucking bloom fruit or whatever. So, yeah, that makes sense. That adds up. She, maybe just like had like eyes appear on like a bunch of walls throughout the lab because her power is that fucking broken and she could just do shit like that. You're mistaken. That doesn't make any sense. Wait, what? One thing's for sure. When Nami screams, a certain someone will always dash to her in an instant. Phew. We should focus. I bet everyone's pinned down. Since they're all fighting, what if something happens to Vegapunk's main body while they're distracted? So Robin's playing 4D chess, she's playing chess while everyone else here is playing checkers, which is kind of funny, because she's literally, like, thinking further ahead and, like, thinking more strategically and being smarter than the actual Vegapunks in this situation. But, I like that she realized, like, okay, Nami's in trouble, Sanji's gonna take care of her, we don't have to worry about, like, Nami's group, because Sanji will be there, and he will help them out and save them and all that good shit. But at the same time, she's like, we need to be the ones to, like, go help, like, prime Vegapunk. We need to help the Stella, because he's the one in the most danger right now. And, that's cool. That's cool. Showing Robin being smart. You'll love to see it. You'll love to fucking see it. That reminds me, there's a room that's been sealed off for a while now. I wrote it off since the place isn't very useful, but maybe we should go check. Lead the way, Atlas. So Atlas apparently has finally realized, like, oh, wait a minute. There's something fishy on the island that we haven't done our own, like, internal audits in a while. Maybe we should fucking do that, to make sure things are, fucking looking good, So, Vegapunks, honestly, I don't know, maybe this is like maybe this is a consequence of splitting your brain into, like, 7 different bodies. But it seems like each individual Vegapunk is, like, a lot more stupid than, like, just Robin. Like, Robin is, like, smarter than any of the individual Vegapunks when they're all, divided up with, their brains and personalities divided up like this. So, who knows, man? Who knows? There's clearly one Vegapunk that's playing all the others. And like I said, I tried to not be spoiled for this. It was pretty hard to avoid spoilers for this chapter, so I'm pretty sure I know who the culprit is, who the sussy baka is in this situation. All right, 3rd floor, building A. So 1 floor above. All right, Edison, hang in there. So so this is Edison. That's Pythagoras. I was right. Oh, so Edison's all fucked up. Brooke is also kind of fucked up, I guess. Well, I'm off to scout for Vegapunk. Okay, so Brooke's actually, like, choosing to be in his ghost form. He didn't get, like, knocked out or something. Wait, Sanji-san, look out! Okay. Sanji-san literally just stands there and takes a punch from a Seraphim because he's a fucking badass, and he's a robot himself. So does this, what do we think, boys? Does this mean that Germa science trumps Trump's Vegapunk science? Does this mean Judge smarter than Dr. Vegapunk himself by creating this masterpiece that is Sanji, this monstrosity, the most scientific lad in the series? Wow, okay. So Sanji calls it his power of love. We know it's because he's a fucking weird, a weird fucking freak of nature created in a lab, but it is what it is. Whatever you want to call it, Sanji. Whatever you want to call it. It's funny because that's how Oda explained. Like he's like his heart burns hot, and that's why he can kick. And some people, I won't name any names, but some people took that I think a little bit too literally. Some people read the fucking SBSs, and like yes, Oda does give certain information in the SBS, but you got to understand a lot of the information he gives in the SBS are like off the cuff. Things that he comes up with on the spot because he'd never thought about it before, and like literal actual jokes. So like when people take the SBS as like fucking, word of God text, like this is the most like, this is directly from the source's mouth. Like we have to take, hold this above things that are stated in the manga themselves, in the actual, fucking text of the fucking series itself. I think when you've gotten to that point, you kind of lost the plot, and you need to like reevaluate your fucking like the way you fucking read One Piece. You know what I'm saying? Like the SBS, everything Oda says in the SBS should be taken with a grain of salt. The primary source is always the manga. The SPS, it's too hard to tell whether Oda is like goofing a little bit or whether he's being like actually serious, which is why you have to take that information with a grain of salt. Otherwise, you just lead yourself to be, disappointed or potentially like just believe something that isn't, that Oda didn't take seriously when he answered a fucking fan question. It's that type of thing. It's that type of thing. So anyway, enough criticism of fucking idiots, actual autistic idiots who read this manga. Let's get back to actually just enjoying it for ourselves. So, okay, so we got fucking Shark Boy does a big punch, and he's like, huh? Didn't hurt? And, Sanji's over here. Didn't do nothing, Don't act so surprised. This is the undying power of love. I was hoping Sanji was about to fucking, beat this guy to death. But, base Sanji could just, like, fucking tank his attacks. Honestly, Sanji's having less trouble with his opponent than, like, literally anybody else. So, does this mean Sanji is the strongest Straw Hat at this point in time in the story? That's, look, what else are we meant to believe? This is Oda talking to us through the pages of his own manga, telling us which Straw Hat is the strongest. He's giving us power scaling differentials within the pages of the manga itself. I mean, look at fucking baby ass bitch boy Zoro, fucking sweating, fucking huffing and puffing, with Luffy also huffing and puffing. And Sanji's just fucking, the fucking Chad over here. Just fucking standing his ground, not even fucking flinching in the face of his Seraphim opponent. Absolutely embarrassing, you guys. What are you doing? Alright, 4th floor, building A. So everything is happening in building A still. Huff huff, those damn flames. Why aren't their backs going out? So that's a good question, because I don't think we'd seen their backs go out yet. So Zoro, obviously, he's like, they're only invincible as long as their backs, are not on fire. If their backs are on fire, we can't hurt them, but when the fire goes out, we can. But I think what happened with King was that his fire would go out when he would, like, attack. but when he was like defending or blocking, he could not. I don't know. I'm pretty sure like his fire went out when he would like when he would attack Zoro, and that's when like Zoro had the opportunity to like so essentially counter him, you know, in the middle of his attack or like right after his attack. So honestly, I wish it had been better explained in the Zoro fight, but like in the King fight, I mean, but like it does make sense. Like you can intuit what the weakness is. Like Zoro maybe just like realized like, oh shit, like he didn't attack as King was attacking, and that's when his attack was the most effective. And we did see him do that. Like he would always try to do a little attack when King was attacking. That's when he knocked off his like fucking helmet and shit. So like I think, you know, even if we didn't see how Zoro like exactly, like we didn't necessarily see the process in Zoro's head of him figuring it out, we can still kind of understand how Zoro got to that conclusion because we saw the fight up till that point. I think the King fight is decent. I get why people feel like, you know, there should have been an extra chapter to like fully explain, but frankly, like if you read it back and watch it back, I think it can be intuited as to like what's going on. Like, you know, his attacks are always the most effective against King when King is also attacking him. Like that's when he's actually able to like knock his fucking helmet off or knock his mask off and like actually do damage to him. And it feels like it makes more sense when you read it again. Most people won't admit that because, you know, their initial reading matters more than, you know, it's like, I don't know. Like I do get it. I do think the fight could have been handled better. And I do think Zoro deserved, you know, more focus and like a more interesting fucking plot-related things than what he got in Wano. But I do think the King fight is probably like it's better than what people give it credit for, at least in my experience. I still don't like it as much as the Queen fight or the Big Mom fight or the Kaido fight. Probably, you know, I probably like all those fights more. But it's a decent fight, and it's clearly, you know. The fight itself and like the mechanics of that fight are coming into play now. All right, so forget that. Where the heck did the Hawkeye looking guy go? He must have ran off. Odds are he's reprioritized the order of his targets. So that's what Lucci's saying. He could be focusing on thinning the herd, saving the toughest for last. So they're just dealing with fucking Kuma. And obviously Zoro's not going to let that stand. Eliminating your weaker friends would rattle your stronger fighters and handicap them. Damn. So yes, Lucci is able to, you know, he's like, dude, yeah, this is my fucking typical strategy that these guys are employing. So like, Lucci basically, he's like, I know what it is to be like a fucking slimy asshole. So I'm gonna show you, you know, this. I'm just gonna let you guys know this is probably what he has in mind. So good on you, Lucci, for, you know, in this case, him being a fucking scumbag is actually helpful to our cause. For once, at least, you know. All right, I'll chase him down, says Zoro, and Zoro goes running off. He's going to lose his way. So Luffy, knowing that Zoro's going to get himself hopelessly lost, tells Kaku, dude, make sure he fucking doesn't get lost. Go fucking with him. Quick, go and help him, Usopp. Usopp, he calls him Usopp. Before he gets lost, man, what a bother. so okay. And I love that Kaku just does it. So Kaku's just basically, I always thought Kaku would be a good fit for the Straw Hats. So honestly, I'm not even mad about this development. I'm liking the team up between these guys more and more as it goes on. It's fun. So now we truly got a team up between Luffy and Lucci and Zoro and Kaku. So that's pretty fun. Gum? Wait, who are you calling Usopp? Hawk Gatling! So he does a big fucking Gatling, which, okay, so he's using Gear 2, fuck yeah. I'll blast that fire away. Nice. Use your pathetic brain, Straw Hat. Use your fucking pea brain. So basically, Lucci calling Luffy a fucking brainlet. Very, very Lucci pill, to be fair. You know, that's just like him. He thinks everyone's a brainlet. Honestly, yeah, Lucci's definitely got like some incel energy, in that he thinks he deserves the world, but like he's also, you know, thinks he's smarter than everybody. You know, he's got, you know, he's a true fascist. You know, we love him for it though. We love him for it. It doesn't matter how many times you try hitting it, that won't work. I like that. Okay, but one thing that's cool, I like that we're, you know, a lot of people have been saying, why would Luffy, like, you know, it's the thing that always comes up. When Gear 4 became a thing, people were like, why would Luffy ever use Gear 2 or Gear 3? Guess what? It's because the fucking final form, you know, even if we don't know the exact costs of using Gear 5, we know now that, like, it does wear him out. And, like, he just doesn't want to resort to his, like, fucking strongest technique every time he's fighting against, like, fucking, you know, jobbers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it makes sense. It makes sense. And, like, I frankly, Oda has been super good about keeping Luffy's previous forms, like, relevant, you know, in the new world. Like, he basically used Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd. Like, he augmented them against Kaido. He used, like, what was called, like, Red Rock or whatever. Like, he basically, like, well, that's kind of what I loved about the Kaido fight, especially before, you know, Nico was introduced, was that, like, basically we saw Luffy, like, finding new ways to integrate his old powers into his new fighting style with, like, hockey and stuff. And, like, that was really cool. Like, I loved seeing, like, Red Rock was, like, a Gear 2. It had the speed of Gear 2, but the power of Gear 3. And, like, like, when he did, like, Rock Gatling, like, that was super cool. Like, that was actually, like, a really cool, like, application of that old ability. And, like, so when people, again, not naming any fucking names, but when people say, like, oh, Luffy's never gonna use his old power set now. I hate seeing powers get eclipsed in Shonen and, like, them never get used again, like in Dragon Ball Z, because One Piece is exactly like Dragon Ball Z. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh, I'm such a student of the fucking medium. Like, you know, get fucking bent, losers. Like, it's basically, you know, it is one of those things where, like, people's fears for how bad One Piece could become if Oda handled it worse than he actually does, you know, sometimes override their fucking cerebral cortex and turns them into fucking mouth-breathing, you know, fucking knuckle-dragging individuals. That's all I'm trying to say. And, like, luckily Oda has handled, like, the power creep, for the most part, extremely, extremely well. And, like, he should be commended for that. That's a Goda right there. That will give him a Goda. We'll give him a Goda star for that one. Gold star. So, yeah, Lucci yelling at Straw Hat. Okay, so now, okay, so we're going back to Bonnie. Only one day remains before the infamous Egghead incident. Oh shit! So we're getting the narrator. The narrator of One Piece is only evoked in very specific instances. It's sometimes evoked at the beginning and end of certain arcs, but it is also most commonly evoked when something of, like, massive import is about to happen. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Ace and Blackbeard's fight on Egghead Island, but at the end of that fight, it was like, this battle will be the catalyst for a, you know, massive incident to come, or, like, for, like, a massive incident to come, or something like that. Or for, like, world-changing events that are yet to occur, or something. Like, when the narrator says some shit like, this is what is a catalyst for, you know, an incident, or, like, this is, like, the famous incident is at hand, you know, that's how you know we're about to get into, like, the real shit of One Piece. Like, the shit that we all wait for. The shit that, like, actually, like, impacts the story on such a large degree that, like, the world shifts around it, and we see, like, a true, you know, like true consequence, you know. And that's the stuff that One Piece, it doesn't employ it too often. It employs it selectively and smartly, and Oda has handled it well, where he doesn't, you know, always resort to, like, oh man, this crazy incident. He does it, like, he's done it, like, maybe, what, like 3 times? Maybe. And, like, every time it fucking he did it in Sabaody. He obviously did it with, fucking, like, at the end of Sabaody, when everyone got, like, he's like, the Straw Hats suffered, like, this is the day that the Straw Hats suffered, like, a complete and utter collapse, or complete and utter defeat, or something. And he did it with, like, the Egghead Island stuff to, like, you know, kind of foreshadow the Paramount War. And now he's doing it again here with Egghead. So, like, we know We are in for some shit. And I feel like most people have not been picking up that, like, all of the signs are there for, like, whatever the resolution of Egghead might be. It might end up being as impactful, if not more impactful, than the end of fucking, what was it? The end of the, oh my god, the end of Sabaody, when Kuma separated the crew. I'm thinking something on that level of, like, you know, craziness with, like, because at the time when that chapter came out, it was fucking bananas. People were like, where the fuck is the story going? Everyone just got, like, fucking, you know, sent halfway around the world, and they didn't come back for a while. And, like, who knows if it, like, it's gonna be a thing that separates the crew or not, but obviously something, like, fucking dark and, like, you know, like, something with a lot of import and, like, severe consequences is coming this arc in, like, a handful of chapters. And I've honestly, it's been a while since I've been, like, this excited to see, like, what's gonna happen next in One Piece. Because, like, just knowing, like, just the way they're evoking this stuff. Like, obviously it could end up being something that gets resolved quickly and isn't that important, but that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. The fact that, like, even earlier this chapter, you know, with fucking Stussy comparing, you know, this incident to Ohara, and saying that not only has Dr. Vegapunk been studying the forbidden research, he's also taking it much further. Like, this is an incident even that will probably be seen as even greater than Ohara, which means, like, this is, like, the start of the end game. This is, like, Egghead is the Sabaody of the New World. And, like, that's pretty fucking crazy just to think about. Like, the, you know, what like, I can't even think of what might happen. You know, like, I have thoughts and theories, but, like, who knows? Like, it's so up in the air, and, like, I really don't know what to expect. And I love that. I love being in that place with One Piece again. After so long of, like, feeling like I could predict, to some degree at least, what would happen, you know, with, like, Wano. Whole Cake threw us for some loops, but not to such a degree that, like, you knew that they were gonna escape, because, you know, otherwise the story wouldn't continue, you know? So, like, there's, you know, Oda's done some interesting, like, stuff with, like, the way he's formatted his arcs, his recent arcs, even with Wano to some degree, even though that was probably more traditional than, say, like, Zoe or Whole Cake Island. This is as, you know, Egghead is as, like, interesting and, like, notable because of its comparisons to Sabaody in particular as any arc he's done in the New World, and that's just great. I'm so excited. Alright, so only one day remains before the infamous Egghead incident. However, the wheels of this tale were set into motion 3 months ago. Oh, fuck. What does that mean? 3 months prior, the Holy Land Mary Joyce. This is Egghead. Come in. I want to speak to somebody with power. This is Egghead. Come in. Oh, okay. So 3 months prior, the Holy Land of Mary Joyce. So we're getting a flashback to understand what's causing these situations to converge now. This is Egghead. Come in. I want to speak to somebody with power. Dr. Vegapunk is researching the Void Century. Fuck. Okay, that's fucking crazy. CP5 agents were dispatched to verify this tip, but their inspection revealed nothing. So someone from Egghead is reaching out to Mary Joyce to, like, inform about what Dr. Vegapunk has been up to. But we don't know who this mysterious person is just yet. And their ship mysteriously disappeared as it attempted to leave Egghead. CP7 and CP8 were both deployed to shed light on the situation. However, no government ships returned from Egghead. This is Egghead again. Put me through to the top brass. The conversation between the five elders and this is why CP0 was there in the first place, and why forces were being sent to Egghead, basically. Because as we can see, they have, like, serious defenses. They were able to, like, topple a Straw Hat ship as they approached as well. So, you know, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy escalation of stakes here. The conversation between the five elders and this individual totally exposed the full extent of the genius scientist's treachery. So this whole time I've been wondering, killing Vegapunks like seems like such a stupid thing to do. But it seems like, you know, because of this informant, it seems like, at least from their perspective, they had no choice. And who knows? We'll find out more in just a sec, but it seems like they were led to believe, like, this is, like, you know, an irreversible situation. Like, you know, Dr. Vegapunk has essentially completely, you know, betrayed us. And, you know, we have to take action before things get worse, you know, while we still have, you know, at least a bit of foreknowledge and can act. Because, you know, Dr. Vegapunk is kind of, in many ways, the most dangerous man in the world, because he's built so many government systems, he's built all of their greatest weapons. Who's to say he can't overwrite the systems that he's written for the Seraphim, for instance, to basically bypass the Five Elders' commands or whatever, you know, or rebuild that robot that attacked Mary Joas, you know, which is something that he presumably was trying to do, but, you know, he couldn't even think that far ahead. He doesn't have the technology to rebuild it. So that's very interesting. It's very interesting to see this. All right, let's see. The conversation between the Five Elders and this individual totally exposed the full extent of the genius scientist's treachery. And so the Elders decided to order Dr. Vegapunk's assassination. It fell to Cypherpole Aegis Zero to execute the mission. And they've utterly fucking failed is what's happened. However, the Five Elders anticipated that Vegapunk would resist, so they sent one of their own, escorted by Admiral Kizaru. Wow. So we got Saturn over here, I think is what his name is. Escorted by Admiral Kizaru. They also reinforced the fleet they deployed with backup from several naval branches. So we got a bunch of, like, vice admirals. We got fucking, what's the hot girl's name? The hot punk girl with fucking spikes and shit. I forget her name, but she's there. Looking sexy as usual. We got fucking, how many fucking double chins does this man have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. God damn, brother. That's, you know, might fucking lose some change in there. And then we got Big Beardo with a white streak down it. Their caution level was raised to total war imminent. So they're basically ready to fucking wage total war. Then the sudden and unexpected appearance. Yeah. Okay, so we got fucking Straw Hat of Emperor Straw Hat Luffy's ship. Left the government forces feeling more than a little disquieted by this complication. Did you say Straw Hat? Yeah. Him again? So, okay, so now we saw a little bit of, what's his name? Akainu's, like, reaction to fucking Straw Hat being on Egghead. But we did not see Nazi. These guys are Nazis. Haha, it's a funny joke. Haha, okay. Him again. We did not see Gorbachev's reaction, in any case. Or the Five Elders in general, so that's interesting. In any case, this chain of events is going to culminate tomorrow. Fuck. So one more chapter before shit hits the fucking fan. That's crazy. So who knows, but like this is like an O'Hara level incident. This island is going to get blown to smithereens. Or something. Everyone's getting annihilated. This is a Buster Call, maybe even bigger than a Buster Call. Like, it seems like there's more forces than the Buster Call. The Navy is taking it more seriously. The world government's taking it more seriously. Shit is about to get fucking real. Goddamn. The shit event is going to culminate tomorrow, and the outcome will shock the world. Katak. Okay, so we're back with Shaka, who's dead, and D. Vegapunk, a.k.a. Stella, and the CP5, 6, and 8 agents who are just hanging out. What the devil, Katak? This is all you're doing? Katak, so, okay, are we about to find out who the sussy baka is? Answer me! Katak, so, is that them reloading the gun? Or shooting again? I can't tell. It's them doing something with the gun, I presume. Kerchak. So she fucking enters the door. Why are you doing this? Katak. Slide. Oh, Stella, it's cause I want to be a celestial dragon. Oh, fuck. It's punk Pussy Yorks putting the pussy on display for her fucking old grandpa over here, as usual. Okay. Straight up, just gonna be perfectly honest with you guys. The reason I'm not acting super surprised by this turn of events is because I was fucking spoiled to this. It was, you know, all over fucking Twitter. I just like I hadn't read any of the page, but I scrolled. Someone screenshotted this image and put it on Twitter, and like multiple people did. And I had personally like suggested, oh, maybe since York was the first one to be petrified, maybe she was the maybe she was in on it the whole time, and she is by far the most unsuspecting member of the group. So I'm not surprised that it was her. Like in a way, like once Stella, like initially I thought it was probably what's his name, Shaka, because he's the good, and it would be funny to invert like the good evil thing between what's his name, Shaka and fucking Lilith. That would be a funny inversion, and like Shaka seemed to be the most like competent of all of them. But if it wasn't Shaka, once Shaka got brained last chapter, I honestly was like, it might be York, because York like seems like the most docile, seems like the least ambitious of the bunch, but in a way, I think she could, like, if all the other members have like a really strong personality, and York was always kind of like a bit silly and a bit like seemed like a bit dumbed down compared to the rest of them, because she's just like doing all the pooping and fucking and shitting for everybody, the eating, the pooping, the fucking, the shitting, etc., etc. So I'm not surprised that it was her. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I would have been more surprised if I had not seen this particular screenshot on Twitter. So again, I'm sorry guys. It was a really hard week to avoid spoilers, which is why I wanted to react to this chapter as soon as I got home from my trip. So again, sorry. I wish I could have been more surprised for you, but unfortunately that was not in the cards this time around. So Krieg, Kerchak, why are you doing this? Katak Slime. Oh Stella, it's cause I want to be a celestial dragon. She gives him a big heart. So we finally found the sussy baka, and you know what? I like that it's York. Ignoring the fact that I was spoiled, I think this makes the most sense besides Shaka himself. Like she was like similar to Conjuro, in that Conjuro being a fucking kind of like useless kind of idiot in a lot of ways, and like him having bad drawings made me think like in hindsight, I should have suspected Conjuro. I didn't really much know who would be the traitor, but Conjuro makes a lot of sense, especially because his drawings were so bad. Him using his bad hand to draw, like kind of nerfing himself while being an ally, but then using the good hand when he became an enemy. That was a cool twist. And this is a cool twist as well. She's kind of been like the one who sort of just like, does all the bodily functions for all the other Vegapunks. So maybe she just like ate some poison and then everyone else just, could fucking die. I actually don't know why she didn't do that, but I guess it's because she would have poisoned herself. But maybe, I bet you her constitution is higher than the other members of the crew, because specifically, she, eats for them and takes giant shits for them. So I imagine she can endure quite a bit, considering the metric ton shits she's been taking for the rest of the crew. Oh, Stella, it's because I want to be a celestial dragon. Is that really the only reason? I'm hoping that there's a more, well thought out reason than just that, because that's a pretty shallow reason, in my opinion. I would like there to be more to it. All right, what are you saying, York? You know what Mary Joyce is like from that visit a long time ago. How could you want to be one of them after witnessing just how vile they are? You sound just like Shaka. Well, not so much now he's dead. So Shaka's actually killed. That's cool. That's an interesting turn of events. I mean, God, her pussy is just on display all the time. That's a fucking, small ass fucking underwear thing she's wearing. Thong or whatever. It's not a thong, but yeah, it's a tiny undies. It's hard to keep track of all of us Vegapunks, right? Honestly, the world really doesn't need more than one of us. Damn, that smile is so... And honestly, the fact that she's so huge, like, the fact that she's, like, kind of like a giant, sort of, and, like, her fucking dopey smile, and, like, how kind of, like... I've always liked how dopey she is. Like, like, in the... Like, there's the 7 dwarves from Snow White. There's, like, angry, fucking horny, dopey, fucking, grouchy, stingy, whatever the other dwarves are. But like Dopey, imagine Dopey being the main villain of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like that is an interesting twist, you know? Like she was the Dopey of the crew, but in the end, like that ended up making her, in a lot of ways, like the one that people like would be less what's it called? Like less suspicious of. So I actually do really like that it's her, and I like how creepy she is now that we know that she's the traitor. The embodiment of the unfettered desire leaves the shadows. The embodiment of the unfettered desire. Oh wow! So they're calling her the embodiment of unfettered desire leaves the shadows. So she has this desire to be pampered. I guess if we're like, so let's talk a little bit about what her motivations might be, because this is a bit of a shaky motivation, right? Like I would want her. The reason I was hoping it was Shaka is because I would like to see an argument from someone like Shaka, who's like the logical one, as to like why, you know, the government sort of hiding the history from everyone else actually promotes like stability. Like give a coherent argument for like the world government and their point of view, and like despite it maybe being like an ends justify the means type of thing, like give a good argument for it. And like I was hoping that we might get something like that from Shaka. That being said, it be the desire being the second, you know, the actual traitor also makes sense, because we know that, like, you know, if they become a celestial dragon, all of their desires will be met at any given point in time, and like, you know, they'll still be able to meet all of their needs. I guess I'm just wondering, like, I guess maybe being on the run and not being like, I guess, okay, thinking about it this way. So Vegapunk, before he was with the world government, was with Mads. And Mads was obviously funded by the mob. It was funded by Dufeld or whatever. So, like, if they were to leave, like, if Vegapunk were to leave with the Straw Hats, he would be hunted forever, he wouldn't have a budget, he would have to leave all of his fucking comforts behind. And clearly the desire's like, no, we have funding, we have a place to live, we're not hounded by the world government, like, we are, you know, doing so much better than we were before the world government, now that we're with the world government, because they take care of us, they take good care of us. Like, let's keep it that way. Like, you know, you being this person who wants to push the boundaries by studying the ancient history and the Void Century and like trying to, you know, like do things against the world government is like destabilizing our position with the world government. And that is why, if I had to guess anyway, like obviously I'm hoping we get more of York's perspective, but if I had to guess why someone who, you know, is known for, you know, basically just trying to meet her needs and like essentially, you know, desiring things, essentially, like, to me that makes a lot of sense, because she's like, okay, like, listen, if we go on the run, like, let's say they were to join with like fucking Gurma or something, or another like black market, you know, crowdfunding organization or whatever, you know, or like Big News Morgans or whoever. Like, they would still be on the run from the most powerful force in the world. Or, like, even if they were to join, like, Shanks or something. Like, they would still, I don't know, maybe with Shanks they could be protected. Like, they could, you know, have funding to do, but they wouldn't have as much money as they do with the world government. They wouldn't have as much, you know, protection and power as they would with the world government. So, like, it does make sense why someone like York, based on what we know of them right now, would want to, you know, keep the cushy gig with the government, you know, all of their needs met, and they can pursue research without a care in the world, as long as they're helping out with the world government stuff. So it does make sense from that perspective. Obviously, I'm hoping we get more, and we got some color pages. Okay, York is looking great. I actually like the yellow hair with her design. I could see it being a different color. Obviously, we'll see what Oda does, because he likes to switch things up. But yeah, no, this is cool. This is a good twist. Obviously, I wish I wasn't spoiled to it, but I'm looking forward to chatting about this with you guys a bit more. And it doesn't look like we're on break next week, so I'll see you guys on probably Saturday morning or maybe Sunday evening next week to cover that as well. Again, I won't be able to get to it during the week, but I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. So yeah, this is a fun one. Definitely excited for more. Things are heating up, and it definitely seems like it's all building to a big crescendo, like a kind of like series altering crescendo, similar to what we got in Sub-Odi Archipelago back pre-time skip. So I'm really excited to see where this goes next, and I hope you guys are too. And I look forward to sharing that experience with you in the next one. So thanks again, guys. I will see you most likely next weekend for chapter 1079. But until then, I am Chimpanzee, and this has been ChipZ Ahoy, and I will see you in the next one. So thanks, and have a great week.